Sauron versus Lich King. I think Lich King's gonna lose, man.
Sauron.
Actually, Sauron's kind of a poo, so he sucked. But maybe in the books he's more insane. In the movie, he looked like a wimp.
The Lord of the Rings.
The Lich King, Warcraft's Lord of the Scourge.
Evil has many shapes, but few can match the presence of these kings of blight and shadow.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to
Sauron,
analyze
yeah, I
their
think
weapons,
Sauron's gonna
armor,
win
and
too.
skills
Lich King
to
doesn't
find
have
out
that
who
much
would win
power.
a death battle. Within the timeless
Sauron
halls,
didn't do
at
anything
the
in the Lord of the
dawn
Rings movie.
creation, the
Like I said, I think in the
supreme
book,
god Eru
maybe
and
he's
his angelic
OP.
Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song.
But one of these angels just had to be a rebel. Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit single and going rogue, Melkor took up a new name just to be even more metal, Morgoth.
Morgoth's power was impressive, daunting. Several Maiar, essentially lower-ranked angels, joined him in his frightening conquest of the world he had helped create.
And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order.
He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only Sauron.
As the bigwig of Morgoth's forces, Sauron spent thousands of years bringing Middle-earth to its knees.
He's almost more a force of nature than anything else, able to create infernos, cause country-spanning earthquakes, and
He's 54,000 years old.
even absorb souls.
And because he's a weird angel spirit man, he can morph his body around his own soul however he wants, or just shed it like clothing and fight as a ghost.
He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf, once thought to be the greatest wolf of all, and even a vampire.
Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that.
Many of his greatest accomplishments are not due to his powerful magics and weaponry, but his inhuman cunning. Sauron is nothing less than a master of manipulation.
He's like if Loki and Satan did a fusion dance. He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just by toying with their sad, predictable, pathetic human emotions. Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron.
In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more united to destroy Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor into the void.
But Sauron saw it coming and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in the fiery pits of Mordor.
I feel like Sauron and Lich King chat have the same thing in common. They seem like intimidating, they look badass and cool. But when you fight them, they're just a sword. They just die.
There, the Dark Lord created a plan to
Am I wrong? Like when I watched the movie, he didn't seem that like he was scary, but he wasn't that strong. He didn't do anything impressive to me.
conquer everything. He fooled the Elven Smiths into forging 19 rings of power and planted them among the leaders of Elven, Man, and Dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring he made in secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them
I'm more
all
afraid of
in
Melania.
the darkness bind
Blade of
them.
Miquela.
Oh god, that's so epic. I think I'm into poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron's own soul, the One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to Sauron's whims.
It wasn't any better for the less kingly humans. So much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of Numenor. We're talking about an island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people, and Sauron had them all at his creepy, pokey fingertips.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
And yet, putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back hard when Isildur subtracted a digit from his hand.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This act forced Sauron to retreat as a disembodied
Yeah,
spirit.
what was this? This is the only scene we got,
Rich hit
man.
back hard when Isildur
kinda
subtracted a
brother.
digit from his hand.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This
How
act
does the
forced
strongest
Sauron
man
to
live
retreat
like
as
that?
a
I
disembodied
feel like that
spirit,
sucked.
threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be destroyed completely, Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though. The ring can turn you invisible, create visions of impending doom, and has one hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? Has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, Boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Well, ring or no ring, Sauron's a beast. He's swatted away armies of soldiers, interrupted Mount Doom through sheer willpower. He has total control over his own being and can modify his soul at will. So he can definitely resist someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate his spirit.
And being among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Osei, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Osei single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noah'd? That place. No wonder everyone wants his ring. Who could turn down that much power?
Not Isildur. The hearts of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring rather than destroy it. But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable. Ah, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
And so began the War of the Ring.
That's true. The hobbits, dude, they just smoke all day.
Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring and the downfall of man, always shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughter fest. Middle-earth stood no chance. Everybody basically accepted death by orcs as
I'm excited
inevitable.
to see what
It
they
was
say about Lich
hopeless.
King.
The kingdoms of men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark Lord's truest weakness.
This
Sauron's
movie was so
cunning
good,
and
though.
stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever or would ever seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
Against all odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was defeated. Not by the sparkly new king or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely.
Even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and most of
Spoiler?
all, fear.
Bro, if you haven't
For
seen
the
Lord of the
being
Rings till
that
now,
represents, and I
that's
quote,
your fault.
as
You're messing
near
up,
an
man.
approach to the wholly evil will as is possible.
it's a classic.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Gear up for fall with Bespoke Post and a new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections.
Bespoke Post
Okay,
partners
okay,
with
okay.
small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month.
Like
not
the
your
hot
fault for doing
sauces
walk-
in the
dude, what do you
Scorch
mean?
Box
I
combined
watched
from
it on my
brands all
Discord like
across the
3
country,
times.
perfect
We
for
watched
some
Discord
deliciously devilish home cooking.
Lord of the Rings
No
so
matter
many
what
times.
you have going on this season, Box of Awesome has you covered.
From camping gear essentials to travel must-haves and autumn cocktail kits, Box of Awesome has everything you need for fall.
I'm personally digging all the sick knives in boxes like Terra, Forge, and River.
Each box is valued at about $70, but you'll only be paying a fraction of that.
It's totally free to sign up too, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime, no sweat.
Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code DEATHBATTLE at checkout.
Wow.
That's boxofawesome.com, code DEATHBATTLE for 20% off your
some
first
Apex?
box.
I'll think about it.
Boxofawesome.com, code DEATHBATTLE. On the distant planet of Draenor, destruction was imminent. The orc shaman Ner'zhul
Oh, shit.
Less than 3.
Puff and Tough, thank you for the 4 months, chat. It's time for Lich King.
a spell with his followers to tear the planet asunder, all to escape the fury of the demon lord Kil'jaeden.
But when Ner'zhul waltzed through the portal, Kil'jaeden was right there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to ravage another world, Azeroth. Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
This Lord of the Dead was sent to the continent of Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zul. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit, which was bound to a set of armor sealed within a prison of magical ice. Man, this guy can't catch a break. Armor
Dude, that's the ultimate CBT. You get turned into metal plates and you're just like tied up for the rest of your life.
sick though. He's gonna possess me if I put that on, huh?
From his frozen prison, the Lich King would begin his
Ultimate
conquest,
time,
conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon, this would threaten the lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay, so that was a lot, but here's where our main guy finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight, Arthas Menethil. Yeah, his name does kind of sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey, no. Arthas was a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the best swordsmen in the world and had mastered nearly every weapon he could.
Even with such a skilled
Chad, wouldn't he win then if he's master of the sword at the age of 19? Like, Sauron literally lost to one guy with the sword slash and his fingies chopped off and he lost.
warrior as its prince,
Right?
Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with an orcish
He
horde.
literally lost to this bozo, just chopped off his fingies.
So a zombie plague
Sauron has
was the
hacks?
last
I don't know.
thing
Sauron's gonna win this for sure, but from this,
Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge.
The Kil'jaeden looks
Naturally,
awesome.
he chose Arthas.
Who was a stressed out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city. Holy shit! Yeah, he was totally losing it, so hearing a creepy voice in his head really didn't help.
Long story short, in his efforts to protect his realm, Arthas discovered a rune blade and took it for himself. This was the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise! It's the source of the Lich King's power. He was stealing souls and storing them within the blade. With this new ice-cold cleaver in hand, Arthas lost his soul and got a death
man,
knight
Arthas
makeover.
looks so
And so
cool.
the former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
Dude, I wish he had a better. Dude, he looks so badass.
The former hero of light would lead the very scourge.
Dude, look at dude. Type one in the chat if they should have brought back Arthas in Shadowland. Insane lore.
Previously
Why
fought.
did they not? Dude, he's such a cool character, man. Get out,
And in
Dej.
time, Arthas would don the armor
They
for
should have,
himself,
man.
giving the Lich King
What do you mean they shouldn't have? Dude, they literally made this epic ass, what is this? Uther, Arthas. They made this insane fucking story. Like, it hyped me the hell up. I thought we were gonna see Arthas and Uther back at it again. And he gets tossed in here. I was like, dude, we're gonna see this badass. And maybe we can even join forces, and maybe he was good. But I know the book, whatever, man. There's all that little shit. But I feel like Arthas should have came back out. And maybe he dies like fighting the boss, sacrificing himself, and then he, you know.
a new
Gets glorified.
ultimate power. Walking!
Remember, everything the Lich King had done up
I
until
think
this
Blizzard
point had
messed
been
up,
from
man.
his
He shoulda
prison
came
within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor, wait, no, Saronite armor, is the best. Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repairs? Screw you, blacksmith, you're never taking my hard-earned gold. I'll never have to get naked and die again.
By donning this dark helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas fused to become one.
I like that
being
short
far
statement
more powerful than either
about
had been
Arthas and
before.
Uther. That was
He can
good.
effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn all of your secrets with the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate was sealed. Everyone was doomed.
See this guy? He's Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. As a Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him. Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
This is important because Illidan had absorbed the power of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea, a massively powerful feat of magic.
The fact that Arthas, a mortal guy, beat him up is a big deal. Just imagine how kick-ass he'd be in full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait, we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control and won. The power of Frostmourne, of the Scourge, of Undeath itself.
Man,
was
the
now
Lich King trailer is so
under
badass.
the command of Arthas.
And by this point, he was just done. Like, with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart. Yeah, relatable.
Determined to end all life, Arthas led his scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path, including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch slapped to death in one hit, then zombified to serve him instead. Man, that didn't go well.
The Lich King
What is this
seemed
narration?
unstoppable.
Only one thing could take him down. A 25-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer.
That's true, chat. 25, the strongest champion of Azeroth. Dude, Arthas has to be Sauron, right?
And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody, but damn, he sucked.
With these, heroes triumphant, the Paladin Tyrion shattered Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending the Lich King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace battle droid rules, so
That wasn't fair. Arthas got jumped by the strongest 25-man and Tyrion, right? It was 1v25, chat.
there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Shady Rays.
Are you looking for an industry best
Who's
combination
gonna win,
of
chat?
fit, style, and performance without the big brand price tag? Shady Rays has got all of that to make your perfect summer complete.
It's not just quality. Every pair of Shady Rays is backed by lost and broken replacements.
If you
Bro,
lose
this
or break your
Tyrion
pair,
drawing
even
is
on
so
day one, they'll
bad.
send you a brand new pair. Wear them without
It's so bad. Chat, we were playing Gartic yesterday. And Dej drew this Tyrion, man. He spent 2 minutes on this, by the way. Bro, how do you spend 2 minutes on this? So bad. It's so bad. Anyways, back to the video.
beer because Shady Rays has your back long after you purchase.
And with every order, they provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America. That's over 20 million meals to date. You get to look good with your shades and feel
Tyrion
good by
alert.
making an impact.
If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days.
There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays.
Exclusively for our viewers, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season.
Go to ShadyRays.com and use code DEATHBATTLE for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses.
Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people.
Alright, here we go.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for an undeath battle!
The hot smarto. Ah, this is pretty badass.
Shall claim what is mine. In this cold north, you will find only death.
Holy. Man, Arthas is dick. The artist said he could bench 1,000 pounds. What the fuck is that? He threw a snowball? What is this, chat? What? What the fuck is that? Oh shit, oh shit.
I'll tear out your heart. You will find nothing.
Oh, he could do that? I didn't know he could do that. Oh shit.
Your efforts are for naught.
What the fuck? He could blow up a volcano? How did he lose to a human in the intro? What? He could grab a blade? Nah, this is a bullshit, man. Chat, this is bullshit because Arthur's is the best swordsman in his town. This guy lost to a bozo that slashed his little fingies and died. How did his fingies not get slashed? He lost to weak Illidan? What are you talking about? Arthas didn't lose to Illidan. Arthas beat Illidan, hello? You want me to replay it? Thomas, you playing this game, little bro? Hey, no way, little bro. Here we go. Oh. Okay. Book wise, I think Sauron wins. Movie Sauron, nah, dude. Movie Sauron was so weak. Okay. Illidan versus Sauron, who wins, chat? You don't know what I'm talking about? I know exactly what I'm talking about. I said it. I said it clearly. If it's the book Sauron, he wins. If it's the movie Sauron loses. As you think Sauron wins the game? The Illidan is insane though.
KO! Well, if he wasn't all powerful before, look out for supercharged Sauron now.
Despite the Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely
Oh, this is sort of Illidan? Okay, but that was Illidan, like, he had his anime arc and he's a lot stronger.
debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not survive such a disease.
So Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost. Both things Sauron could do.
After all, the plague is intended for organic mortal enemies and has never infected a spirit.
Another smaller point for Sauron was his weakness. The Lich King was a clever
Illidan is
bastard,
literally
but
fighting
even
each-
with the
yeah,
eye of
Illidan
Icarus,
is
it
fighting
would have
like
been tough for him
gods.
to decode and destroy the One Ring. Meanwhile, given enough power, Sauron would naturally end up destroying Frostmourne. He's kinda got a thing for breaking swords.
So let's compare their power. While their highest limits are certainly nebulous, interestingly enough, some of the most impressive feats from both
But
worlds
you know what, chat? At the end of the day, you guys all have this argument. Do you know who the strongest is? Me. That's right. The players. The players win every time. I'm just a normal fucking peasante from Northshire or Teldrassil, and we spank the shit out of Arthas. And if you play Lord of the Ring game, you spank the shit out of Sauron as a normal peasante. At the end of the day, chat, We're the strongest. We're the Giga Chads, okay? We're the Giga Chad.